If you're in your 70s and you're still working and you think that it may be time for you to quit your job, this video is for you. I'm going to be talking about my own job where I'm still working full-time, and some of the signs that I'm seeing in myself that are telling me that it may be time for me to hit the road and do something else. So let's get started. I'm still working full-time at 72, and I really like getting that paycheck. I actually went over to my pension provider the other day and found out that I can retire whenever I want to. And it's really up to me, but the longer I work will just increase the amount of the pension that I receive when I eventually do retire. So I feel really fortunate about that, knowing that I can quit if I want or need to. I'm fortunate to work in the public sector, and the job I work in, there are quite a few people that are around my age. Now, some of them are retiring, and whenever someone retires, it always brings up the questions over in my direction. When are you thinking of retiring? So I say, my standard response is, gosh, I don't know, I really hadn't thought about it. When are you going to retire? Because even though I talk about retirement on my YouTube channel and I'm pretty much thinking about it nonstop, it's really not up for discussion at work, because the minute that you tell your coworkers or your boss that you're thinking of retiring, oh my gosh, every bit of work gets piled on you. You're expected to write desk manuals. You're expected to train somebody so that they can try to gain your 20 years worth of work experience on that particular job in 5 minutes, which of course that's not happening. So I just don't say anything about it. I say that, I really haven't thought about it. One thing I've noticed, I had to have a reality check the other day, is about change at work. So I am a change management expert. I have worked in change management a lot. And I've noticed recently, and I don't know if this is because of my age, but it might be, that when things are changing at work, I don't feel very comfortable with it. And I'm a person who really embraces change. I'm proud of that. But I feel a little unnerved if things are changing. So when I worked in the private sector, and this was about 20 years ago, I worked for this company, and they had a person in their 70s working there. And at the time I was around 50. So I had to go in and make some really rapid changes in that company because they were under audit and they were facing some pretty severe fines. I worked in a financial services company. So I went in and I had to turn things upside down. And some people were terminated. But one of the employees was having an awful time working with the salespeople. And well, I never attributed it to her age. I just thought, she's worked here a really long time, and these guys are really aggravating her, and how about if I just take her off the customer service calls and make sure she still has her full-time job, but she doesn't have to deal with these salespeople all the time. Well, that was a big upset for her. In fact, she quit when I did that. And I think now, reflecting back, and probably this is karma because she quit her job when I talked to her about it, that maybe she was having trouble with change in her 70s. And I didn't recognize it at the time because I couldn't. When you are younger, and I'm talking about even in your 50s, which some people think is old, when you haven't reached your 70s yet, you may not recognize things in employees or other people that they're having a hard time with. And I would say that it's important we try to communicate with compassionate clarity, but that it's also so important to have compassion for that person. As long as they're still doing their job in an efficient way, and you don't have to turn the cart upside down, why? Why do it? And it's not a game. And so let the person retire in peace. I mean, eventually they're going to retire, right? They're not going to be staying working there till, I don't know, some people do work there that are in their 80s and 90s, but I sure don't want to be there that long. So another thing that I've noticed is that I've been working with my boss for about 7 years, and we actually built up this big program together. And then he kind of stepped on me and got promoted. Great for him, really happy for him. Except, his entire personality changed when that happened. And now I'm having a very difficult time working with him. And I am having to put on like a work persona. I feel like he says things intentionally to aggravate me and push my buttons. I feel like it's like this panel of buttons on the front of each of us, and people just push them. And he knows how to push mine because I've worked with him for a long time. So I think that he would really like it if I quit. And I know that has to do with my age, but it also has to do with the fact that I know where all the bodies are buried. So I'm going to quit when I'm damn good and ready. That doesn't have anything to do with being old. So recently I went to lunch with my friends in the cafeteria at work, and they were having a really nice conversation, and they were trying to include me, and we were all talking, and all of a sudden the energy's just completely shifted for me. And I heard inside, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And it wasn't about my friends or anything like that. It was just kind of this, I'm really done with this. So that's when I really decided. I set a date to retire for next May, and that's 9 months from now. And I don't know if I'm going to hit that date, but I have a target date now. What kind of things have you experienced if you're still working, or that caused you to say, I really want to quit my job. I want to do something different. I can't stand working here anymore, whatever it is. My boss has turned into a real jerk, and I don't want to work for him or her anymore. So I would encourage you to be true to yourself. I'm trying to be true to myself. I know I have maybe 9 months, a year to go in that job. And you know what? I'm going to take that year and I'm going to use it for planning. I'm going to work with my pension provider, and I'm going to be working on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to be working on my art and focusing on my health. And then I'll go from there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have an amazing day. And I'll see you in the next video.